You know, with eating disorders, I guess with anything that we struggle with, we're always looking for the magic pill. You know, what will get me there the fastest? How can I get better now? You know, what will expedite the process for me? And if you've looked around on our site at all, you've probably seen that there's a lot of different components to treatment. We talk a lot about working with a team. That's a nutritionist, a medical professional, sometimes a psychiatrist, a counselor for sure. And we talk about the importance of, the spiritual approach. We talk about giving it time. We talk about all these things, and there's no magic pill. But I'll tell you one thing that is the most important aspect of all of it, and it is this. You have to recognize that you cannot fix this problem. Now that may sound like I'm stealing your hope, but the key is the you part, okay? You, through decisions that you've made, about how you were going to cope with life or what you were going to believe about yourself and your identity or any different number of things, you have gotten yourself to where you are today. And if you continue trusting in you to fix your problem, you're never, ever going to be free. Isn't that horrible? It sounds terrible. And it can feel terrible to those of us who want to feel like we can fix things. So you can't. So the most important thing you can do is recognize your powerlessness. You are powerless to fix this. That is so hard to accept. That is so, so hard. And I know that a lot of people who struggle with disordered eating are powerful people. You may be a very wealthy person. You might have everything at your fingertips, all the resources that you could ever need, and you think, surely I can do this. And surely I will tell you, you have to embrace your powerlessness. In the Beatitudes, in the book of Matthew 5, the first one is, blessed are they who are at the end of their rope. When you get to the point where you're at the end of your rope and you recognize, I can't do this, then suddenly there's more room for God, for the possibility that God can do something for you that you can't do for yourself. I will tell you, I believe 100% with everything in me that that is the most important thing that you can do. Because when you recognize that you are powerless not only over what you're eating or not eating or changing that or changing how often you're binging and purging or changing the ideas that you have about your body, but you are powerless over what your mother says to you or your father says to you or your boyfriend breaks up with you or your girlfriend's unhappy with you, all of life's experiences that cause you to think that you have to cope in this way. We are powerless over all of it. All we can do is recognize that we need a relationship with a God who knows more about life than we do. I guarantee you, He will walk you toward the freedom that you seek. But you've just got to remember that He is God and you are not.